Hey everyone, it's Melanie here, and today I'm going to be talking about my February TBR and my January current reads or reading. So, a lot has been read in the month of January, which I am so excited about. So it happens when you just put your mind to it and you just start getting it done. But I have to credit a lot of it to audiobooks, which has been my new favorite thing. I've really been enjoying audiobooks. So I was able to read. Let me get my trusty Goodreads thing out here. I've been doing so good with tracking on Goodreads. I am so proud of myself. It's unreal. I'm like really having a great time. I like to use Goodreads for my own purpose of like tracking what I've read, to kind of just have a quick recap. There's some books that I know I've read. I didn't put it on Goodreads. And I'm like, what did I think of that book again? Like, what did I feel about that book again? Like, and I'm like, oh man, I have to reread it now because I didn't add it to my Goodreads. So I'm going to be really on my Goodreads from now on. For the month of January, I started out the month with Court of Swans. Beautiful book. So happy I got to read it. I'm so thankful that someone gave it to me as a book to read. I was just over the moon thrilled, and I had to start my January readathon with Oshina and Holly with that book because, I mean, how could you not when you have a Melanie Dickerson book? So I gave that one 4 out of 5 stars. Really enjoyed it. Can't wait till the next Delicate Tales. I love how it spins off from one of Melanie Dickerson's previous books, which I'm excited about. You can watch my thoughts on that in my previous video. Then I read Forgiving What You Can't Forget, Discover How to Move On, Make Peace and with Painful Memories by Lisa TerKeurst. And that was an incredible book. And to be honest, I'm actually reading some books currently right now that I'm thinking I'm going to bump up this review to 4 stars. Just because I haven't read a lot of nonfiction in a while. And going on the current books that I was recently reading, this one deserves to be a 4 star, I think. If not a 5. But I'm gonna keep it at a 4. So I think I'm gonna change that, because on my Goodreads it says 3, because I had said it's almost a 4, but not quite. Well, so that was also an audiobook, and another audiobook. I read True to You by Becky Wade. This was my first Becky Wade book. I don't know why I haven't read her before. She is a beautiful author. I loved her stories. They're definitely adult and geared for the adult community. I mean, it was like genealogy and like all these nerdy things that I just am head over heel about. So I definitely related to it. Plus, the main person had red hair. I am all for the red hair heroines. I don't know, I just love it. I love that history. I love is like Ireland and Scotland, and I just feel a keen to that. A kindred spirit. Then I read Girl, Stop Apologizing, a shame-free plan for embracing and achieving your goals. I have been really getting into a nonfiction kick. Most of my stuff I read is fiction. You guys know that. If you're following me for very many years, you know I love my fiction. Over the years, as I'm getting older, I like to have the knowledge of the nonfiction. And I really like to see the world through different lenses and different perspectives, and just kind of see where people are at in their lives and their experiences. And I'm really interested in hearing all about them. Well, this book, I didn't want to hear. And it reminded me of why I didn't like nonfiction sometimes. But hear me out. I had to DNF this book, okay? And this is probably an unpopular opinion. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I just really didn't like it at all. And I really tried. Because she's so popular and she's had such good reviews, I had a really hard time, and I didn't want to DNF it. I actually really wanted to listen through it, but to be honest with you, I just don't want to experience that. So the reason why I didn't really like it was because they say that she has time tough love, okay? But I would argue that it's gritty, dirty love. You know, you kind of feel yucky. You kind of feel condemned and shame and guilt, and you don't feel the freedom of being saved and a Christian. And that, because I don't think that, okay, and here's the other thing is, I know that it's published from the Christian perspective in a sense. I almost would have to say that I don't see that, but this is why it's an unpopular opinion, okay? Leave me in the comments below if you feel the same, that you had the same struggles as I did when you were reading this book, because I just did not feel the love of Christ. We don't have to live in condemnation, the Bible says. We are free from that. So we live with conviction. Conviction is a different thing, okay? And we grow from that, and we learn from that, and we move on from it. And we have the freedom of Christ, that he died for our sins, and now we can grow in that. But it was like this...
I can't even put a win in, like, I'm having a hard time even just trying to describe what I'm feeling.
I just really didn't like it. I had to DNF it, and I didn't feel like it was coming from a Christian perspective at all. So you let me know in the comments below. Let's have a discussion on this. I am definitely have an unpopular opinion, I'm thinking, but let me know what you think as well, because I mean, that's what we're about. We're about discussing these things, and you know, in a loving manner, and that's what my channel is all about. I love to discuss things in a healthy, loving way, and if we come from different perspectives, let's meet, let's talk, let's chat, you know, and see in a loving way how that plays out, because we're all not going to agree, obviously, and I believe that God can use anybody. So obviously I'm sure that God has used this book to speak to somebody. Moving on, the next book I read, which also came at a different sort of voice and style to the other nonfiction book, is Holy Hot Mess: Finding God in the Details of This Weird and Wonderful Life. If you did not read my review on this, you need to. She's incredible. The author is Mary Catherine Backstrom, also new to me. There's a lot of new to me authors this month, and I'm so impressed with myself. Lisa Turker.
I would say is a new author because I haven't really read anything from her. You guys heard me talk about that, so I'm not going to talk any more about that.
Becky Wade is definitely a new to me author. I know she's existed for the whole time I've done in booktube, but I liked a lot of different kind of styles, and romance to me, I love romance, I do, but I like it, I'm just really picky about it. I like it to be, I don't know, I'm really picky about it. So she was a new to me author. Rachel Hollins for Girl Stop Apologizing was also a new to me author.
One I probably will never read again.
And Mary Catherine Backstrom was a new to me author. I was so pleasantly surprised with her. I just really loved her humor. She was very relatable. I would say too much information at some points of her book, especially if you're young and you're reading her books and you have never experienced having a baby or things like that. For the most part though, hilarious. Like, I definitely could relate because I have 5 children and I had them within 6 years. If they were born one day and 1 month earlier, I would have had 5 children under the age of 5. Literally. Regardless, my days were insane. When I say insane, I mean insane. Like, they were full. I was tired. I think half my time was like sleep deprived because I was either pregnant or dealing with toddlers that were not in very good sleep schedules. So to say I was sleep deprived is an understatement for sure. I'm not gonna lie. It was a lot of work, and I had many tearful, crying moments in those times. As a person, as a mother, it stretched me in such incredible ways that I did not appreciate back then. But reading Mary's book brought back so many memories and hilarious moments that my children put me through.
I mean, I have stories to tell. But I won't.
it was just really kind of nice and fun to look back on. And I already had gone through this, but it was just nice hearing her side of the story. I just want to say, like, that book is very good. Any type of mom with young children at home, you got to pick up the book just for humor and relatability, because it is so good. Now, she does deal with some very heavy topics, and those are also very relatable. Some of the stuff that I took away from this is that we are all kind of just holy hot messes. She got a scripture verse wrong in this book, which was interesting. I mean, it was pretty wrong. But I gave her grace because I understand fog mind, and she has book editors and none of them picked it up. So I think it was just a genuine error. And I don't think it was meant to be that way. So I'm giving her a lot of slack when it comes to this. That is only fair, I think. The final book in the month of January is Heartless by Anne Elizabeth Stengel. If you want to watch the review, I'm not going to talk about it too much, but if you want to watch the review for that, you can click somewhere here because I'm sure I've already done it. Also, that was a 4-star as well. Now, I'm also reading this book right here, like I said I would. I am into page 85, and I like this book. However, it is non-Christian, and this is what I find all the time. I'm always like trying different books to see if I'm going to enjoy them that are secular. But the problem is they don't have the same kind of standards. So there's a bit of a sex scene in this one for 2 teenagers. Now, I kind of alluded to it in the, it's not there, but in this back portion to kind of describe the story. However, I thought it was going to be done a little bit more tastefully. It was not crucially detailed, but it was definitely there, and I hate that kind of stuff. So I'm going to take a break from this book right now. I might pick it up later. I think that they could have just had this whole beginning section kind of interwoven into the story, or made it as like a mystery section and put it at the end where we find out what happened without the detail of them doing that. So I'm not loving this book right now. I'm not, and the writing style is a bit juvenile, to be honest with you. So we'll see if I even pick this up again, but right now I'm going to put it down. Okay, just as a quick wrap up though, for the month of January, I think I did amazing for how I'm doing right now. That's like 1, 2, 3, 4 if we count the DNF, 5, 6 books in the month of January, including starting a new book. I am over the moon about that. I can't even tell you. Audiobooks have really helped me to get back into reading, and I'm really trying hard, and it's been proven. This nightly routine of mine is amazing for that. And then audiobooks. So I'm doing really well. I'm so proud of myself. I'm encouraging you guys to keep going if you've lost your mojo in reading, because it does work if you just keep pressing and make time out for yourself to read. Going into what I'm currently reading, so like I talked about The Royal already, we already talked about that. I just started on audio Because You're Mine from Colleen Coble. She's also a new to me author. Like, I am littered with new to me authors right now, which I am so thrilled about, because I mean, how hard is it to venture off into new stuff? But I am loving this so far. So Colleen Coble, I've never read one of her books, and I really, really am appreciating it. And it has a redhead heroine in it. Yeah, I'm such a sucker for those. Now, let's talk about February TBR. So you guys know about the Agatha Christie, The Third Girl book, right here. We're gonna read that for sure. I've got the Colleen Coble that I've got on audio, which I have a few other books on audio that I would like to start as well, but we'll see. We shall see how that goes. And then of course the Laura Childs book, Steeped in Evil. You guys have seen this book a few times now. I really want to get to it, so it is on my nightstand where I will be hopefully getting to it. Then of course this one I do want to reread again. I haven't got to it yet and I want to. It's a short book. I might do a 24-hour readathon and see if I can get that bad boy in there, but I don't want to burn myself out, so I might not either. we'll see how it goes. I've been doing so well with reading, so I think I could do this. I think it's a good accomplishment for my TBR going into February. And then I got this book, The Peasant's Dream by Melanie Dickerson. I am so happy to get this book and start finishing this. I almost don't want to read it because it's like, and then you're finishing the actual series. And I don't want to finish the series, you guys. I think that's why I put it off for so long, just because, yeah, I don't want to. Look at the beautiful color. That is gorgeous, this color. Oh, but I have to, we will have to finish it eventually. So this is in the reverse reimagining of Cinderella's story. Secrets and dangerous enemies threaten a fairy tale romance. Do you guys want to hear about it? I kind of do. But do you guys want to hear about it? Adela, daughter of Duke of Hangenheim, is rarely allowed outside the castle walls. But one day, longing for freedom, she sneaks away to the market disguised as a peasant. There, she meets a handsome young woodcarver named Frederick. Frederick, a poor farmer, is the sole provider for his family, and he often has to defend his mother from his father's drunken rages. He dreams of making a living carving beautiful images into wood, and he is thrilled when the Bishop of Hangenheim commissions him to carve a new door for the cathedral. As Frederick works on the project, he and Adela meet almost daily, and it doesn't take long for them to fall in love. Yet, her true identity remains hidden from him. When disaster separates them, Adela and Frederick find themselves caught in the midst of deceptions far more dangerous than innocent disguises. As the powerful lords set against them proceed with their villainous plans, secrets emerge that put Frederick and Adela's future at risk. Love Melanie Dickerson stories. I know I'm gonna love this one. I doubt that I won't. I have a really nice lineup for my books for February. I'm really excited about them. I think they'll do well, plus my audiobooks, and I have a few nonfiction audiobooks too to add to this list. I'm sure I will have those up. We'll probably talk about them in our February wrap up, but yeah, that's what I'm really excited about. I'm so happy that we got to start the year off so strong. I hope you guys' reading is doing amazing. Tell me what books you are reading. And also, quick little reminder, hit the bell if you've subscribed. So not just hit the bell, but click on all. Because if you just click the bell, it will kind of randomly tell you what you might want to see. But if you click on the bell, there's 3 options. And I would suggest doing the all, because I found that, like, even with me, I wasn't getting their videos when they were coming out. So I had to switch to all. I feel like because we're such a niche, we get lost and we don't get the notifications that we should be getting with our group. So make sure that you do hit that bell. I normally don't remind people about this, but I thought about it the other day and I thought, oh, I should tell people because I didn't know. And I thought by clicking the bell, I was doing great. I was gonna get the notifications into my feed, but it did not happen that way. In the next video, you'll see my review for Heartless. I will see you in the next video. Bye.